So, you want to be an it girl? Hello, and welcome back to Confessions of a Wannabe It Girl. Today I am joined by Maya, and I'm going to jump right into it. I'm gonna throw this right on you. When people ask you what you do, what do you say?
I tell them that I am a singer-songwriter and that I'm a musician, but I also do a lot of social media stuff. And I started all the social media stuff to kind of help me, advertise all my music and stuff when I started releasing everything. And I just tell them that. I mean, most people, obviously, if I don't say I'm a TikToker, because for me, a lot of people, refer to me as a TikToker because that's what I, got, pretty big on. Mm-hmm. But I started on Instagram and everything else. So, for me, TikTok was just, another outlet that I could use, other than Instagram. Mm-hmm. And so I'm I guess I'm a TikToker, but, I'm a musician.
Okay. I love that. I love literally how clear you are that, it is to do music.
Yeah.
It's not like you wanted to be a TikToker and then you were let's make music.
Exactly.
Does that annoy you that some TikTokers go that way?
I have spoken about this before, and a lot of people don't like when I say that, when I talk about that stuff.
Well, I think it's annoying. So
yeah, I mean, genuinely, there are people that, do TikTok and already had a passion for music beforehand, mm-hmm. which is great. And they use the platform in so many cool ways to help expand that. And I think it's awesome. But there are also a lot of people that might look at it as a quick cash grab or as a way that they can, just one day wake up and be a musician. And mm-hmm. the thing is, music is subjective. You can make tons of different types of music, and it's going to there's different people that are going to like it. But, there are a lot of people that just never really had the passion for it before, and their managers might be hey, I'm sorry, but people there are, I'm not going to name drop. I don't want to do that. But there are a couple people who their managers just are you know what, this might be a good idea, and then they go out and do music, which.
No, I'm the same way. I believe you go into something with the craft you want or or the craft you're passionate about. You don't hire somebody who's never, my acting teacher says this all the time, to be a brain surgeon who was oh, well, I was a really good psychiatrist, so now I'm a brain surgeon. It doesn't work like that. So I don't know. I feel very similarly.
Yeah.
Okay.
The difference is a lot of those people don't write their own songs too. I mean, Charli D'Amelio, she didn't write, she might have co-written. I will give her that. There might be some credit on there somewhere. But they have a table of the best songwriters sitting around there helping give her the best possible thing they can give her so that it does well. And the thing about musicians that write their own music and stuff and are independent artists who aren't signed and don't have all those publicists and all these people to help them, it's this is all stuff that I've written completely myself and just had my professors critique and gone to school for and all this. And I'm getting a songwriting degree from Berklee College of Music.
Wow.
So it's a little bit frustrating because I'm doing all this on my own. Mm-hmm. And I really wish I had that kind of team to be able to, help set everything up for me. But I'm the one sitting here setting up my music videos, setting up, figuring out who's going to produce my music, how I'm going to pay for it, mm-hmm. how I'm going to pay for the video. And for me, that is the biggest part that is tough for me to see, is that I'm not able to have the top people that can sit there and help me. But sometimes that's just life. And so I got to do it myself and doing the best I can.
I love that. I totally want to go into the whole for independent artists and life and I think I saw something on your TikTok and it was a transplant. And I was I don't even know what that means, but we'll get there.
Okay.
But I want to go way back and talk about when did you get into music? How did this all start? When did you start going to Berklee? Give us your whole path to this point.
I mean, I've been singing since I was a little kid. I always did theater stuff when I was in middle school, and in high school I did show choir and stuff like that, which show choir was actually the thing that got me to really be able to be on the stage a lot more. I was on the stage a lot growing up, but I was on big stages for these show choir things. And I had, people that were my fans, from high school show choir,
That's sick.
And so, when I graduated and everything and was actually like, all right, here we're in music industry land. Like this isn't just like performing on a stage in high school. But that kind of stuff was what like made me grow even more of a love for like performing. I was like, I want to perform my own songs. Like I love doing all of this stuff and like putting 150% into the things that I do. But at the same time, I'm like, I need to sing my own music so that, you know, I can feel like I'm able to do genuinely what I've been wanting to do my entire life. And like I've been writing since I was pretty young too. My dad has like a picture of me writing on the shower floor when we went to Australia one time. Like I was literally writing random, it's stupid. It says like, hey, nay, something random. I don't know. But I was really young and I'm sitting on the floor of the shower, like writing on this random piece of paper. And it was one of those things where it was like, I felt like that came naturally to me even before I even really knew how to do it. I had a songwriting lesson for the first time when I was like 13 and they taught me like the main structure of writing songs. And that was what really gave me the materials to be like, oh, this is how I can actually finish a song and do this. And then I took a bunch of songwriting courses in college and everything, which has helped shape that as well. But I've just been honestly like my parents are really supportive. So I've been actively doing just any performance and music opportunities that I could possibly have growing up. But
I love that.
Yeah.
Was it all like, did you always know you were going to do this?
Yeah. And I mean, for me, it's also about self-expression. You know, for me, like growing up, like, you know, I was bullied. I struggled a lot with my identity and stuff like that. And music like really, really helped me to be able to kind of put into words like, and melodies and everything kind of encapsulate like who I am and like the things I want to talk about. So I've just been working really hard to do that.
I love that. Describe your style and your style of music. How would you say your sound is?
Okay, so my specific sound for music, I would just say like alternative, pop punk, try to keep it pretty broad because I have a crap ton of influences in my life. Like, I listen to a lot of pop punk music and I listen to a lot of like Blink-182, Neck Deep, My Chemical Romance, stuff like that. But I also grew up with my main influence as Lady Gaga. And it's funny because I don't write the kind of music that she necessarily would do, but she has so much influence on my music in a way where it's like she's not afraid to express herself 100% and just put herself out there. And so that, you know, her standing for that and me seeing that growing up. And I went to a couple of her concerts. So I'd be just sitting there like, I want to be able to inspire people like that one day. I want to be able to make music that other people can connect to and listen to and be like, you know what, I've gone through this too. I can think of 30 people in my head that have done this to me. And I listen to this song and it feels therapeutic because when I'm finished with a song, and all of the songs I write are about things I've gone through in life. When I'm finished with a song, it feels like I've like finished encapsulating all of those emotions. And then when I listen back to it, it's almost therapeutic to be able to hear a whole song that's been completely catered to the situation I just went through.
So you have a nice array too of like influences.
Yeah, definitely. And like I also I've just been really inspired by a lot of like strong female writers and songwriters and stuff because the music industry is very, very male dominated, especially as far as songwriting. I mean, I've seen some statistics where it's like, I don't want to say exact statistics because I will not remember it off the top of my head, but I will say the percentage of like female songwriters, like when they like, you know, are like, all right, we need the best songwriter to come write a song for Charli D'Amelio. There's a lot more male writers that are like looked towards rather than, I mean, there are female writers, obviously, but I would like to see an influx of more female writers in the industry.
I'm shocked by that. Do you have any ideas as to why you think it's like that?
I mean, a lot of times, like one of the main reasons that I wanted to get a songwriting degree, I mean, this isn't the main reason, but I knew that as a woman, I wasn't going to be taken as seriously because a lot of times, like, I mean, even like some people make fake manager emails saying it's a guy, you know, to like do their business stuff. And they'll have a better interaction if they pretend they're a guy dealing with all that than if they were the one emailing themselves.
Right.
And it's just like, I don't exactly know how to fully explain, like, but the thing is that I just feel like a lot of times, like, we're not taken as seriously as female musicians and writers. So I feel like if I have a degree and I've studied all of this and I have worked really, really hard to learn as much about it as I possibly can. And I have this damn degree.
Yeah, you do.
I'm hoping that, I'll be taken more seriously. And it's, I shouldn't have to be hoping they take me seriously.
Exactly.
I should be like, take me seriously, goddammit. You know what I mean?
Walk in and put it out on the table.
Yeah.
Literally bring your diploma around with you.
Yeah. I mean, but that's what I've been doing more. I'm trying to be a lot more forward with what and I've always been a very forward person. But with this kind of stuff, you kind of have to be like, this is me. This is who I am. This is my stuff. Hear it. Like, because otherwise it's just kind of like you can't live feeling timid about it because you're scared people aren't going to take you seriously or you'll just never do it. So at a certain point, I'm just like, slam on the freaking gas.
Right.
Do all that you can and show your presence and show that you're there. And strong female presences are dominating the music industry right now currently as they're rising with Megan Thee Stallion and a bunch of like other awesome like female artists. But, people we're taking the forefront. We're not wanting to be, we don't want to have to be like limited to what we can and can't do.
Right.
So, yeah.
No, absolutely. It's kind of, it's just so crazy to, when I think about entertainment, even as a whole, how much of like art is just created by males. It's just insane. And I'm like, what is it going to look like, hopefully sooner rather than later when it's not,
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I just think that there's enough room for everybody. And like the thing is, it's not like, I don't want any men in the industry. That's not the goal. But it's the thing is, we need more inclusivity. We need men in the music industry that are going to push to help the female people in the music industry. Because at the end of the day, like we need those people to be advocating for us just as much as we are.
Absolutely. So we're talking a lot about the industry. Let's go into that. What I saw on your TikTok, I saw somebody said like transplant comment and like you commented back or like industry transplant. I'm like,
industry plant.
Yes. Industry transplant. What does that even mean?
Okay. So this is actually a good topic. So, a lot of people know recently there was a band called Tramp Stamps that came out on TikTok and all three of the girls basically had failed music careers and their managers put them together into or record label into one band where they were like, all right, you guys are all going to dye your hair, change everything about you, and we're going to market you towards all the TikTok alternative people that are looking for this kind of stuff.
Whoa.
And no one specifically, came out and admitted that.
Yeah.
The thing is, the internet was able to figure it out because when these girls were releasing these songs, they just were sounding like really like they were trying. There was one song that said, I'd rather die than date another straight white guy or something. And it was almost like it was trying a little bit too hard to sound woke.
Yeah.
That it was like trying to, it was like listening to
you can see through it.
It was like you could tell that it was written by older people.
Right.
That wanted to see what would work for the younger audiences.
Right.
And so those girls got called out as an industry plant, which an industry plant is when a record label will take people from their label, different people, and say, this is who you are now. This is what you're going to be. This is your background. This is your story that you're going to tell everybody.
Wow.
And it's basically all bullshit. It's all a lie. And someone commented on my video on TikTok of my music video the other day and said, industry plant. And I made a little video of me kind of responding to that. And the first thing I said is, you have to be a part of like a label to be an industry plant, right? Like if I was a part of a label and like they made me an industry plant, I'd have a lot more money, man. I'm like, if I was an industry plant, I'd have a lot more money.
Right. So you're like, okay.
So I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm actually the complete opposite of an industry plant. I'm sitting here self-funding everything myself, doing all of it myself. I don't have people representing me, as I said before. So that's why, people were just kind of chuckling and saying like, how the hell could you say that she's an industry plant?
Right.
She doesn't even have a record label.
Wow. I mean, I'm kind of still shocked that still happens. I feel like that's something I thought like didn't happen anymore. Like I thought that was so like 90s and like early 2000s, but I can see it. You're like, they're like, we could try to make a buck this way. So they give people these whole new identities and they live out this story. It's literally playing a character.
Yeah, it's all completely fake. And it's like, if you look back at my pages and stuff, you can see I've been doing this for a while.
Been this person for a minute. Yeah. Like you've always been, I think, this exact person. So it's like you didn't rebrand yourself.
Yeah, I didn't just like appear like this one day and change everything. I mean, in high school, I dressed like, you know, like way, way different, but it was because people would have absolutely given me shit if I dressed the way that I do now. So, you know.
And so now you would say, and I guess always say, you're an independent artist.
Yeah.
And what does that really mean? I feel like the guy walking down the street could be like, I'm an independent artist. But like, what does it actually mean to be in your position?
Being an independent artist basically just means that you're doing everything that a bunch of these artists are doing with labels, but independently. So like, you know, labels help a lot of artists with their music videos, with getting their songs produced, with doing all these things, but I don't have that kind of help. So it's like, I'm my own manager. I'm my own social media manager. I got to fund all this stuff myself. So that's what makes that's what's different between being an independent artist versus being signed to a label, is that you got to do everything yourself, and you got to find how you can make everything fit your budget.
And do you think it's easy or it's hard?
Definitely not easy at all. It's extremely, extremely frustrating at times because, like I said, I'm literally doing all this myself while I'm in school. I'm finishing college, and you know, it's a lot of stress on my plate because, you know, even like when I release the song, like I don't have a marketing person, so I got to think about all the different ways I can market my song and get people to hear it, and how I can get the algorithms to pick it up.
Sure.
Because the problem is, I can come out with a song, but how do I know that the algorithm is going to pick it up? Because there have been times where I've posted singing stuff or like a clip of a song and the algorithm doesn't pick it up and it doesn't even do anything.
Right.
And so like that planning, I got to plan out all of how I'm going to advertise, all of the posts, everything. And then, you know, the music video, I got to find someone that can film it, someone that can direct it. My most recent one, luckily, this girl reached out to me and I collaborated with her and did it with her because she needed to add to her portfolio, which for independent artists, that is always like a really great situation when like, you know, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Totally. You really need a person with a good song and that has a vision and a look that you like. And I really need a music video and you need content for your reel. Right. So it's like we work together. I work with like a lot of smaller, you know, artists to kind of, because I don't have the budget for a lot of these music videos. I mean, some music videos can cost so much money.
So much money.
It's absolutely ridiculous. And I'm styling all my videos myself too.
Oh my God.
So I pay for all the outfits, everything. And it's like, I'm just sitting here saving all this money and like all the money goes towards my music.
Totally. Do you ever meet people out, you know, just out and about and whatever, and they're like, oh, I'm a singer. And, you know, they really mean like, I got off the plane to LA yesterday.
I've actually never had that happen, but I do know that there obviously are a lot of people that come to LA to like be musicians and stuff like that. Like a lot of people actually that graduate from Berklee College of Music like come to LA too. So I know a couple of people here actually. So I guess I have. Yeah. Except they've all been, you know, going to school and preparing for like the LA move, you know, like a lot of people when they graduate, it's either like New York or LA or whatever. But a lot of people when they get here, like they don't really know, they kind of feel like a fish out of water.
Yeah.
But for me, I grew up here like my whole life. I was only gone for 3 years for school, but at the end of the day, that gave a great perspective too. Wow. Being away from here, because I've learned like, I could also see how LA is perceived in the eyes of people that don't live here. You know what I mean? Growing up here my whole life, I didn't really see a lot of like, well, I definitely experienced a lot of stereotype things, but I guess I just didn't really think about it as an LA thing. I just thought it was like, oh, there's people like that in general. But there are a lot of people that, you know, come here and they're not necessarily like, a lot of people come here and are worried about competing against other people.
1,000%.
And the thing for me is it's not about competition. And if you look at it as competition, then it's actually going to hold you back. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, there are tons of different niches within the music industry. There are tons of different styles of music, tons of different looks, tons of different types of musicians that exist. Like, if you're really concerned about like the other musicians that are here, and you're more concerned about them and about making it before they do, you're going to screw yourself over.
Yeah.
You gotta have your eye on the ball the entire time and be like, yeah, this is like shark infested waters, but like, I gotta do it. And like, the more you keep your mind off of all the competition and keep your mind off of all the things that you need to be doing, it all pays off. You take a little steps at a time. But if you look at the whole, it's like if you take a wide view and you see the whole shark infested waters, you're never going to get in the water.
Right. There's the horse with blinders, or you're like lost in the pack, so it's like, which way do you want to go? What is something you do to like keep yourself in that zone of just like keep my eye on the ball and like not worry about what others are doing around me?
Honestly, for myself, I have all these goals that I've had since I was young, and I'm still focused on those goals because like, I haven't stopped. I've been like, everything that I've been doing like these past few years has been like setting myself up like for this moment, for when I'm about to graduate and I'm releasing my music. Like, I've been sitting here like, I don't want to graduate and feel absolutely screwed. So for the past few years, I like spent all that time working on, like my social media and branding and getting people to kind of get to know me. Yeah. Because honestly, like, when it comes to like getting support and like people that will listen to your music, you need to find people that are going to connect with you. A lot of times when people support artists, they don't just support artists for their songs. I support Lady Gaga because she's a cool fucking person. Right. And like, I want people to look at me and be like, you know what? She inspires me. That's why I want to listen to her music. And so I just kind of focus on that. And I focus on, being able to connect with other people through what I do and like help people that like might have felt, ways that I've felt when I was younger and like I didn't feel like I had any way out of it. Like, I've been able to connect with people through that. So I've just been just trying to keep my eye on the ball no matter what. And if anything, instead of thinking about things as competition, I think of things as it's like, if I support these musicians, I'm going to get support back. You give people love, you get love back. Obviously you're bound to get hate in any situation anyways, but like, if you support artists and if you come to LA and you're a new artist, if you come here and you're like, oh, now I got to worry about competition. Oh, they're probably really snooty. Oh, blah, blah. It's not going to work. Yeah. You got to come here and be like, how can we help each other? Oh, that person, just came out with a new song. I'm going to post about their music and I'm going to share it and I'm going to uplift them because guess what? They'll probably do that for me too. Yeah. So rather than working on, thinking about the competition, you think about how you guys can help each other and work with each other. Yeah.
I have heard something. It's like, you got to be a go-giver. Like, you go and you give and you keep giving for other people. And like, instead of like, what can you do for me? It's what can I do for you? And that will always come back, you know? But it's sometimes, it's tricky, and I didn't grow up here, but like, I've definitely had my maybe first bout of like jadedness. It's not fun. And like, it's like, oh, it's almost like it also happened during COVID. So it's like the worst feeling. You just feel like you are locked in your own like worst headspace about it. And I think the best thing is to tap into what you're saying. Yeah. Go back, go give, and just be supportive and like, it will come back. But, it's not the easiest thing sometimes.
Oh yeah. But, you get what you give. And so you just gotta like, it definitely does get tough because, there are a lot of people in LA that are like so talented and like maybe I feel intimidated by them. Yeah. But competition is such a high school thing. Yeah. And now like there's, a couple artists that I've found recently that are like emerging LA artists who are like getting really big. And if anything, I'm like, that shit inspires me. Yeah. That makes me want to work harder. Not because I need to compete with them or beat them, but because if they did do it, I'm going to need to work my ass off to do it too. Exactly.
I love that. I felt that way before too. I'm like, if you can do it, and I know like I'm just as qualified and, my heart's in just the right place too. Like I can do it too, which I love. I also love something else you said about Lady Gaga, you were saying that you really like her also for who she is.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's something positive that's really changed in entertainment in general. Like it used to be like, you know, at least when I felt like when I was a kid, like I liked it for the song and the look.
Mm-hmm.
And now because of, this is a positive for social, because of social and like also, you know, I feel like a lot of actors who are really big or singers who are really big, you know, now they have brands or they, you know, make things. I feel like you actually do like them more for the person too, not just what they do as a craft, you know? So it's like a little bit more married.
Definitely. And because people are tying like the person's personality to their music and they're focusing on that more, that also means that if you're a musician and you say something, I don't know, homophobic,
bad,
maybe people won't support your music as much. So now because that matters, I mean, there are musicians like, you know, in the past, like when you said people didn't, you know, tie it to personality as much, there are musicians that got away with a lot more back then.
Right. Oh, you know,
they got away with a lot more. And now they can't get away. We got cancel culture. We got all eyes on these people and everything that they do. You know, it's like you can see if they've gone to a big party wearing no mask. Right. You can see like there are tons of different things that we have access to.
There's just a lot more like that. Yeah. But you know what? That's the first time I've really had that realization too of like, we are holding you a little bit more accountable to your fame. Yeah. I always think about it in terms of a cancel, you know, but like, you know what? Yeah. Like you are in charge of this brand, this name, whatever. Like, you know what? Yeah. You do need to speak your mind when you need to speak your mind. And you know what? Like also you need to say what you need to say when you need to say it, and people don't like it. That's part of who you are, and they need to know that's who you are. Yeah, but that also goes to show that conflict resolution and stuff like that, as an artist, you got to be good at it. Yeah. Because we are human beings, all right? And I'm sitting here and I'm like, I will fuck up sometimes in my life. I know I will. We all do. So you got to know exactly how to hold accountability. You got to know how to talk to your fans like you're a human being and not just like sitting here reading something that you typed on a script or whatever. You're being had to have it held to your head while you're reading it. You know, you gotta be genuine. Totally prepped into that, whatever, versus truly being in that situation. Yeah. And being genuine is a lot more valued now. And like, you know, that is something that like, you know, I could hear, you know, there's a girl that I'm obsessed with. Her name is Mothika. And she's amazing and she's an amazing artist. And I first listened to her music and I loved her songs. But then the more that I read into her and who she is and why she writes about the things that she does, and it's we kind of have similar purposes as to why we write music, to like help other people. And I know she deals with like mental health stuff. And but it made me finding out more about her, like diving into that even after discovering her music, made me love her music even more than I did. Yeah, before, I totally feel that. It really does have impact. Right. I feel the same way with actors. Like there's certain, like Leighton Meester was a big one for me. Like just finding out like where she came from, even though that wasn't my story at all. Like her parents were in jail and like, you know, she came from like a kind of rough upbringing and, you know, but I was like, wow, like I like you even more as an actor because you went through this, you know? So I kind of like that part about social. Usually I'm kind of like anti-social, like exposure. I'm like, oh, like we're doing each other's business, blah, blah, blah. But like that's a very good plus. Yeah. So very different though. We're going to swing. Let's talk about your new single, Victim Card. Yeah. What was the inspiration? Where did this start? So I haven't, one thing that I made sure that I was going to do when I released this song is, it was about a girl that was extremely, extremely awful to me and said like a lot of really mean things about me behind my back and like in front of my face too. Sometimes in a foreign language. Oh my God. And I didn't know the whole time. I had no idea she was saying all. Did other people tell you? Yeah. And I don't want to like give away too much because people with social media, they could find out who things are about. Literally FBI. So I'm trying not to give too much away with that. But I definitely wanted to make sure that I didn't say who she was, but I put her on blast. Love it. Without even saying who she was, you know, because at the end of the day, like she was awful to me, but her getting a bunch of hate to her page isn't going to benefit or help me or do anything in any way to help me heal. She doesn't need the publicity anyways. Yeah. We don't need that for her. We don't want her to have that. Helped me heal? Her blocking me right after hearing the song. I love a block. But
Yeah, it was basically about, she told my ex-boyfriend, like, nobody wants you guys to be together. Nobody likes you guys together, like all these things. And I tried so hard to constantly get her approval and be nice to her. And I was just kind of like, where is this energy coming from? And I realized like there are a lot of women that sadly like to tear down other women to make themselves feel better. Mm-hmm. And, obviously it comes from, it's sad that women grow up feeling like we're put up against other women our whole lives, like it's in competition for men or like things like that, like it's sad that idea is around us as we're growing up in general. So in a way, I pity her that she's like this.
Totally.
But at the end of the day, one of the lyrics I said, to the girl that's just so bitter about her life, she's got a shit on mine. It's confidence you lack.
True.
And honestly, the most insecure people are the ones that sit there and say every snarky and mean thing about other people because it makes them feel better. It makes them feel better to knock that person down a little bit. And, she always knew I was a confident person, a go-getter, and that I'm like, I know I'm a cool person.
Yeah.
And I know that she was sitting there being like just angry at herself, maybe, like when if you see someone else succeeding and you're getting angry about it, maybe you're the root of the problem. Maybe they're not the root of the problem. Maybe you're the root of the problem. So I guess it's also just about, just in general, girls that tear other girls down to make themselves feel better. Like people, high school bullies, things like that. I've dealt with girls like that my entire life. And I think that especially, women need to stick together. Totally. we already deal with enough shit. When we already deal, if I'm out and I see like any woman like having any trouble with like any guy out or anything's happening, I'm like the first person to be like, oh my God, this is my best friend. Like, what are you doing? And like pretending we gotta look out for each other. We gotta be kind to each other.
Absolutely.
So the whole point of the song is, I didn't want it to be like at all like anti-feminist in any way, but I wanted it to be anti-feminist.
That's complicated
because there are a lot of women who are not feminists.
Right.
There are a lot of women who aren't. And so the whole song was just dedicated to that. And honestly, like it was like writing a big diary entry about it. You know what I mean? And some people on TikTok, some of the comments I woke up to this morning.
Yeah, go into that.
Some people were saying like that the lyrics were too simple for them and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I'm telling a story.
It doesn't.
I am sternly sitting down and saying to the girl that told my boyfriend no one liked us together, you're a bitch.
Right.
Like, there's not really anything deeper than that. It doesn't need to be a big metaphor.
No.
The whole point of it is you're not nice. And I'm here to tell you, you're nothing but a mean girl.
Right.
So you might want to fix that because karma's a bitch.
Right.
But yeah, I woke up this morning to a lot of hate comments because I had a clip of the music video kind of pop off on TikTok yesterday, and I had posted a couple.
Did that feel good?
It felt so good.
Yeah.
When it was like, because it started kind of last night. I had like,
you put so much work into just even getting to that point.
Yeah, the first 2 times I posted clips of the music video, like they did really well, but they would get like maybe 60,000. But so I was just posting like different like sections of like the song to see which one, because you need the algorithm to pick it up.
Okay.
So I post like the very beginning section, and I guess TikTok's algorithm said, hell yeah. And within like the first like few hours, it was like at like 200K. And as amazing and happy as that makes me, my anxiety went through the roof because I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to like, and it was before I was going to bed too.
Oh yeah.
So I woke up this morning and I knew damn well what I was going to be opening my phone to. Like I was fully, trying to prepare myself. And most of the time I don't respond. I just block people. And
you've been through it before.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've dealt with it before from like past releases and stuff. But because this one, like it's at like 500,000 views on TikTok right now.
Everyone's going to have an opinion now.
Like exactly. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. The thing about TikTok is it can show up on anyone's For You page.
Right.
Not just people that are my demographic.
Right.
But people that might hate what I do. You know what I mean? So like
I call it like Molly, Minnesota, like, or, whatever in Wisconsin, who has like no idea about like anything you're talking about. Like you've no idea. You have no control who sees it at all. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like, I knew it wasn't just going to be all people that follow me that were seeing it. So I open in, Yeah, I got the comments about like the lyrics and like I gotta, and first off, I mean, I'm graduating with a songwriting degree.
Mm-hmm.
My song's been critiqued by my teachers like a bajillion times. Like the song I released. Like, my teachers have heard that.
I've been through this already.
Like Berklee College of Music, the top music school. Right. They heard it and have critiqued it. And
highly more qualified.
So I don't really care.
Yeah, highly qualified.
It's like someone was saying like, it's like trying to tell like somebody that does pole dancing, like trying to teach them how to do it. It's like if you've never done it before, if you don't know, if you've never written a song in your life,
right?
How can you sit here and really like tell me
go off?
I'm a music critic.
Yeah. No, see, that's the number one thing that bothers me about viewership. Like, some reason people feel so empowered that they're an expert about it because you watch TikTok for 2 hours a day and you've owned an iPod since like they came out. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Until you've actually been in the craft or like that industry, like, you don't really have a stake. Sure, art's subjective, and I totally respect that. Everybody has their own flavors, but like, you're not doing it, so shut the fuck up.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, genuinely, why would I care about those people's opinions in the first place if they don't actively write music for, a passion or a living or anything in general? Like, but the thing is, you don't have to post the comment.
Right.
Because for me, listen, you don't have to like every song that you hear. Mm-hmm. I'm not sitting here saying you have to like my song, and if you don't like it, you're an asshole. That's not what I'm saying. But if you listen to a song, maybe it's not your taste, maybe the lyrics aren't metaphorical enough for you.
Right.
Why don't you just not say it? Because when they comment that, the problem with me is when they comment that, they know there are going to be people that are going to agree with them or gang up on me or whatever. And it's like, you see something that I've just worked so hard on and put out, and you want to start a chain of hate comments about whether the lyrics are enough for you. Like, I didn't write it for you.
Where's your humanity too? Like, where's your humanity? Like, just don't.
But that's the thing. People get ballsy with social media. I mean, they're like, I'm not going to get any repercussions. Like, I'm not going to, I can say whatever I want, whenever I want. But it's like, we are human beings. And like, I feel like now, like, influencers or like in general our feelings are not taken into account by those kinds of people. But at the end of the day, they don't care about our feelings because they're jealous.
Right.
You don't comment something like that unless you've watched something and you're filled with envy. You don't say things like that.
No.
If you know what I mean.
Why would you keep your mouth shut if like...
Exactly.
I feel like bullying and like this is like a big theme for you and like in your work and like also even what's happening right now. How do you keep like a skin about it? Like,
honestly, a lot of people, I get a lot of comments and messages like every day of people telling me that like I've like helped them like be themselves more and like be more comfortable in themselves and like expressing themselves the way that they want to. And those are the kinds of people that keep me doing what I'm doing. Because at the end of the day, like, I mean, obviously when I was in high school, I didn't dress myself the way I do now. I didn't write the kind of music that I write now. So I used to be the girl that saw girls like me online and wish that I could wear that kind of stuff or wish that I could, be that outspoken about things. And so I want to inspire people that might be in like the situation that I was in to, do that too.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot to take on. I mean, it's so much. And like, it's crazy because like I've literally just met you and I look at you and I'm like, wow, you seem like an insanely hard worker. You're so driven. You have a mission. You have a passion. And then on top of it, like, I'm so curious about how, you're like, I wasn't like this in high school. Cause I look at you and I think you've always been this way. And like, that it's exciting to see someone come into their own, especially for someone who's new to you. I'm like, oh, this is how you've always been. Yeah.
I mean, the first thing I did when I graduated high school was I sold pretty much every single article of clothing that I owned in high school. I don't really own any clothes at all anymore that I owned in high school, like maybe like one thing. And I just decided that I was going to start living my life the way that I wanted to live it. And when I did this, I was in a place called Prince Edward Island in Canada for my 2 years of school.
Okay.
It was like a Berkeley partner program there.
Okay.
I saved a lot of money.
Very good. We love that.
So I went there and I was like, I'm in this small little town. Like, you know, if anything, I'm never going to see most of these people again. So this is the perfect place for me to just like, you know, start over and dress how I want. I used to get complimented by like old ladies there. It was like the cutest thing ever. Like, you know, usually in LA, usually the older people are the ones that are like calling me Satan,
judgy,
you know?
Yeah.
But when I was in Canada, like there were all these little old ladies like complimenting my outfit. And I actually did like my first music video when I was in Canada. And it was like right after I had just like changed my style and like gotten rid of all the old stuff. And, so that was really cool too, because I was able to kind of like, you know, be like, this is my debut of like who I am now. I'm tired of like hiding this part of me. I mean, when I was in high school, I think I came to school one time with like purple eyebrows that matched my eye makeup, and I got bullied for it. Like, they were so mean. And it's crazy because it's like, if I got bullied for that, they would have ripped me to shreds if I wore the kind of stuff I wear now, if I did the kind of makeup that I do now there. Like, they would not, you know, like, if I could go back in time. I did do an alumni show at my old high school.
Yeah, you did.
Recently.
And how did that go?
It went really well. And honestly, the main reason I did it was because I was like, I want to walk back into this school in something that, they cannot dress code me because I don't go here anymore. So I wear a spaghetti stuffed dress.
Also the most obnoxious thing that's ever existed.
So obnoxious. But it was honestly so therapeutic going back to the place that I grew up performing a crap ton in like choir and all that. But like visioned as the person that I really, really wanted to be on that stage. Like, I wasn't allowed to dye my hair in high school because of choir and everything too. So it was just like really cool, like coming there and like people that hadn't seen me in ages. Yeah. People that hadn't seen me perform in a long time, seeing me perform something that not only I wrote, but something that completely is me now. And I'm not, you know, I'm not trying to kind of figure out what's going to be pleasing to other people. I don't care. I went in there, I did the damn song, and so many people were so nice about it. Yeah. And I was like, all right, lit. And also, it felt very therapeutic. It felt like a weight lifted off my shoulders because I had dealt with a crap ton of like feeling put into a box in high school. And there's something so freeing about waltzing into that same high school and singing a song about Mean Girls. Yeah.
I mean, it's way cheaper than a million therapy sessions.
Exactly.
So, and like, you know what? You're going to always have that memory. Yeah. And how good did it feel?
Yeah, really good.
Like,
really
so good.
Honestly, like, I mean, even just performing my songs live now is a crazy feeling because of COVID. I wasn't able to, like, you know, do that for a while. So, like, it hasn't been until, like, recently that I've been hearing full bands playing my song. Like, wow. I'm literally, like...
I got chills thinking about that.
Oh, my God. I'm literally, like, I can hear it in the song and everything. Right. But recently, I've had, like, 2 gigs recently, and, like, those are the 2 times I did the victim card. And, like, hearing it with a full band, I literally just want to start crying. I'm like, because then it feels so real, right? Because it's like we did all of this, like, you know, it's in the audio, and
you did all of this, though.
Yeah,
you did.
Well, no, also my producer.
Well, your producer too, but like, I mean, do you know how impressive that is?
Thank you.
You should be so proud. Like, you really should. And like the way you talk about it, like you are so in for like the right reasons, and that's going to carry you forever, you know. And like, I think about like all the hard work that it must have gone into like hearing that first live show, or like the music video going literally viral. Yeah. You know, wow.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's honestly like, I really, really did not expect like the clip of the music video to like go off that much. But I woke up this morning and I gained like 4,000 Spotify streams overnight.
Shut up.
Yeah. And I was literally like, oh my God. And recently I've been feeling like this moment in my life is very, very significant. Yeah. And I know it is, and I will figure out even more of how significant it is later on. But I feel like for some reason, I just feel that now is like a time in my life where things are going to start changing.
This is the dumbest thing to ask because I feel like you're a songwriter, so you definitely do. Do you journal?
I do journal. Sometimes, I mean, a lot of the time, like, I'll write, like, you know, if I have random like lyrics that I think of, like maybe I'm like, oh, I need to put this line in a song or something. I have like pages of just like, if I need to start writing a song, I just go through these pages and I call them song seeds. So like things that will help.
I love that.
Sprout a little flower. And I go through all my song seeds and stuff like that and look through all of them. And I actually like learned a lot of that in college. You should like keep it all in writing, like in handwriting, because like with technology and everything, like I don't know, my phone crashes and there go like a bunch of songs I just wrote.
I'm addicted to pen and paper anyways. You know? But write how you feel right now, because I'm really curious to see like how significant this time is and when it comes back, like how it feels again. Yeah,
I definitely will. I should like, I don't know, I should like make like I should just like document it or something in some
You should. You absolutely should.
Yeah.
Well, you are literally such a doll. Like I said, I am blown away by how like hardworking and driven. I'm so excited to see what is in store for you. I feel like so many good things, but also like sometimes I say that and I'm like, so many good things are going to happen to you. I like believe you're going to make them happen. So like, I'm like, have no doubt. Tell us what's next for you. Where can we find you? All the good stuff.
Okay. So I actually am working on an EP that's almost done.
Tell us about that.
It's going to be a total of 5 songs, including the victim card.
This is so dumb. What does EP mean?
So I honestly don't remember exactly what the letters are, but it's less than 10 songs.
Okay, great.
Or less than 9 or something. But it's not as much as an album, but it's like,
Very good. Okay. So your EP is coming up. Yes. I feel really cool saying that.
I'm working on getting that one done soon so that I really wanted to put Victim Card out, because Victim Card was supposed to just be on the EP and I wasn't even going to release it as a single, but I released it as a single first because I was like, I need to give them something to kind of like, you know, look forward to everything.
I can get behind that very much.
So my EP will be coming out soon and it's actually going to be called The Power Vested in Me. So that's what I decided to name it. And it should be, I'm thinking October, but I really want to make a music video at least for one of them. So I'm thinking maybe November. I'm not sure. But yeah, my socials are all Maya Karli, MAYAKRLI. And that's kind of like, I mean, Karli's my middle name. It's not like, but I was like, Maya Karli kind of sounds like, you know how people say like Mary Jane or things like that. You know?
Good ring.
But yeah, so that's all my social stuff.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, of course. Literally, we have to do an update and you have to tell us all the things that have come in your life.
Hell yeah, of course.
Yeah, I love it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys, for listening. We'll see you next week.